Have you ever stopped to think that everything you've learned about ancient civilizations might just be a small part of the story? What if the pyramids, the flying gods from Mayan legends, and even the mysterious Moai statues of Easter Island were more than just extraordinary human achievements? What if, behind these great feats, there was the hand of visitors from another world? I know, it sounds like something out of fiction, but some evidence makes you wonder. Could there have been some outside help shaping the course of our civilization? The truth is, many ancient mysteries defy simple explanations. How did the Egyptians build the pyramids with such precision? Or how did the Dogon, an African tribe, know about stars invisible to the naked eye centuries before modern science? Isn't it a bit odd to think that at some point in our history, lost civilizations might have had contact with something or someone far beyond what we could ever imagine? The fascination with UFOs and ancient civilizations isn't just for fun. It makes us question what we really know about our past. Now, if for a moment you could entertain the idea that we haven't been alone for far longer than we thought, how would that change your worldview? Maybe the answers to the mysteries of our past are just waiting to be uncovered, hidden in the monuments and legends. After all, did the ancients know something that we've forgotten over the centuries? What if they left clues for us, waiting for the day when we'd be ready to understand? Take the Anunnaki, for instance, from Sumerian mythology. They're often described as powerful gods who descended to Earth to shape civilization. According to the legends, they taught the Sumerians how to farm, build, and rule, propelling an ancient civilization forward in remarkable ways. But were these gods merely mythological figures, or was there something more? Some theorists suggest that the Anunnaki may have actually been extraterrestrial beings, whose advanced technologies and knowledge were misunderstood by ancient peoples and interpreted as divine powers. This completely changes how we understand the history of Sumer. The idea that the Anunnaki were visitors from another planet adds a whole new layer to the discussion of ancient civilizations. According to this hypothesis, these beings came from Nibiru, a supposedly existing planet, and directly influenced the course of humanity. This belief has gained traction among conspiracy theorists and proponents of ancient astronaut theory. Sumerian images and records often depict mysterious figures wearing helmets and holding objects resembling technological tools, fueling this theory even further. If these are just myths, how do we explain these details? Some stories go further, claiming that the Anunnaki not only guided but also manipulated humanity. There are myths that speak of humans being created to serve the gods, which makes you wonder, could this creation actually have been a form of alien genetic engineering? How else do we explain the sudden evolutionary leap the Sumerians made in fields like astronomy, architecture, and mathematics? Could the answer lie in some kind of external help from beyond our planet? Perhaps the truth is buried alongside the temples and ruins of Uruk and Eridu. It's also fascinating to see how other ancient cultures share similar myths about beings who came from the skies and brought knowledge. The Sumerian gods aren't an exception, but rather one piece of a global puzzle that connects various mythologies. Greek, Roman, Celtic, and even Norse gods all speak of superior beings influencing humanity. This raises the question, could all these cultures have drawn from the same source of alien wisdom? Maybe the Anunnaki were just one of many visits to Earth. And as we explore these possibilities, the mind begins to wander to other ancient mysteries. If the Anunnaki truly existed and influenced Sumerian civilization, what about other monumental structures around the world? The next mystery to consider is the Pyramids of Giza, which have puzzled scholars for ages with their inexplicable features. The Pyramids of Giza, especially the Great Pyramid, remain one of the greatest enigmas of ancient history. Their construction, using massive stones aligned with astronomical precision, defies the logic of what the Egyptians were technologically capable of thousands of years ago. For centuries, scholars have debated how an ancient civilization, without modern tools, managed to build such an impressive structure. This is where the theory of alien technology comes into play. Could the pyramids be more than just tombs? Perhaps they're markers, built with the assistance of visitors from another world? The theory that the Egyptians received extraterrestrial assistance isn't a new one. Some believe that the pyramids couldn't have been built using just manual labor, ropes, and wood. Instead, it's argued that a technologically advanced civilization, possibly from another planet, shared knowledge about levitation, energy, or even genetic engineering. The precision with which the pyramids are aligned with the constellations, particularly Orion, deepens the mystery. If we consider that ancient peoples had cosmic knowledge passed down by extraterrestrial beings, this hypothesis starts to sound less far-fetched. Beyond architectural precision, the layout of the pyramids reflects detailed astronomical knowledge. Some scholars point out that the positioning of the pyramids aligns with the Orion Belt, a constellation of great significance to various ancient civilizations. How did the Egyptians achieve this level of precision without telescopes or complex celestial maps? Could aliens, observing Earth from above, not only have helped with construction, but also marked the pyramids as reference points for their own travels? Perhaps the pyramids served as some kind of beacon, guiding beings who traveled among the stars. Furthermore, it's fascinating to note that other ancient civilizations around the world also built pyramids, such as the Mayans and Aztecs. Is this mere coincidence, or were these civilizations connected by extraterrestrial visitors who taught them the secrets of pyramid construction? The uniformity of certain aspects, like the triangular shape and the orientation toward the heavens, suggests a shared pattern. This could indicate that pyramids were more than just mortuary monuments. Perhaps they were attempts to communicate with beings from space. The very word pyramid comes from the Greek, meaning fire in the middle, which fuels speculation that pyramids might have contained or channeled energy, another possible sign of alien technology. If we look at the cultural impact of the pyramids, their influence extends far beyond Egypt. The legends and fascination surrounding them persist through the ages, as if they carry a lost secret. And if these monuments are physical proof of interaction between humans and extraterrestrials, what else could we discover? The pyramids have already presented us with many questions, and perhaps the answers lie hidden within another archaeological mystery: the famous Nazca Lines, whose enormous drawings can only be seen from the sky. The enigmatic Nazca Lines, scattered across the Peruvian desert, are one of the world's greatest archaeological mysteries. These massive geoglyphs, depicting animals, plants, and geometric shapes, can only be fully appreciated from high altitudes. This peculiarity has led many to speculate whether these lines were created to be seen from the sky, or, more intriguingly, by extraterrestrial visitors flying above the Earth. Were the ancient Nazca people attempting to communicate with beings from other worlds? The precision with which these figures were drawn raises suspicions of a higher purpose. The idea that the Nazca Lines were messages or visual cues for beings from another planet gained traction, especially due to their scale and complexity. Drawing figures up to 300 meters long, without the technology we have today, is an astounding feat. How did the Nazcas achieve such precision? Some believe they might have had extraterrestrial help, with aliens guiding the humans from above, or even providing advanced technology to help them complete these massive works. If the lines were indeed messages, what were the ancient people trying to say? Perhaps they were asking for help, guidance, or simply celebrating gods they believe came from the sky. Another intriguing factor is that many of these figures are located in areas rich in minerals, fueling the theory that extraterrestrials might have been interested in Earth's resources. Some of the figures, like the famous astronaut, a humanoid figure that appears to be wearing a helmet, are often cited as depictions of aliens. Did the ancient Nazcas really see something that inspired them to carve these gigantic images into the ground? Or were these geoglyphs an attempt to attract the attention of visitors from space, perhaps in the hope that they would return and share more knowledge or technology? In addition to the more well-known lines, there are also geometric shapes like spirals and straight lines stretching for miles. Some of these forms seem to function like runways, leading to speculation that the Nazca Lines might have served as a kind of prehistoric airport for alien spacecraft. The absence of any concrete explanation for the purpose of these lines only fuels these theories. Even though there is no solid evidence proving the interaction between the Nazcas and extraterrestrials, the question remains: why create something so colossal and visible only from the sky, if not for those who could see from above? Over the years, the Nazca Lines have been the subject of countless theories, and to this day, we don't know for sure what motivated their creation. Whatever the explanation, it's impossible to deny the fascination these lines hold for us. After all, mystery is always an invitation to explore more, to question more. And as we dive into these enigmas, we often encounter others just as intriguing, like the myth of Atlantis, a civilization so advanced that many believe its knowledge went beyond human understanding, possibly originating from somewhere out in the stars. The legend of Atlantis, an advanced civilization that supposedly disappeared mysteriously, has always sparked the curiosity of historians, philosophers, and theorists across ages. Plato was the first to mention this lost kingdom, describing it as a society with technologies and knowledge far ahead of its time. But why has Atlantis become the target of so much speculation about its origins? Some suggest that Atlantis itself could have been a colony of extraterrestrial beings, an advanced base on Earth. Perhaps these Atlanteans were actually space travelers whose technology and wisdom were mistaken for divine powers. This hypothesis, that Atlantis was an alien civilization, stems from the fact that even in ancient accounts, it's described as being far beyond the capabilities of humans at the time. The Atlanteans were said to possess powerful machines capable of controlling nature, along with breathtaking urban infrastructure. Some descriptions even suggest that they mastered anti-gravity and advanced forms of transportation. This raises the question, how could a civilization so technologically advanced appear suddenly and disappear so quickly, without leaving substantial traces? Maybe its origin wasn't from this planet, which would explain the almost magical disappearance of an entire culture. Additionally, the Atlanteans are often associated with the idea of sages and masters who came from the skies, teaching early humans about science, astronomy, and agriculture. Many ancient civilizations, like the Egyptians, tell stories of gods who descended from the heavens to establish and organize society. Could these accounts be echoes of an alien presence that inspired the myth of Atlantis? If we look at Plato's writings through this lens, they might not just be recording a lost civilization, but also documenting direct extraterrestrial influence on Earth. After all, what other civilization could we point to when trying to explain the sudden emergence of so much advanced knowledge? The disappearance of Atlantis is also shrouded in mystery, described as a sudden catastrophe. Could it be that these aliens, after fulfilling their role on Earth, simply left the planet, taking their technology with them? Some theorists believe that Atlantis wasn't destroyed but relocated to another point in the universe, or that the Atlanteans themselves decided to hide from our view. If the civilization of Atlantis was extraterrestrial in origin, this could explain why we haven't found conclusive ruins. What remains are stories and clues left in mythologies and legends. Atlantis, therefore, continues to captivate not just as a lost kingdom, but as possible evidence that we are not alone in the universe. The idea that alien civilizations have already walked among us raises many questions about what else we may have inherited from them. And as we ponder what really happened to Atlantis, other cultures hold surprising secrets as well. For example, the mysterious astronomical knowledge of the Dogon tribe, who knew cosmic secrets without ever having access to telescopes. The Dogon tribe, located in Mali, West Africa, holds one of the most intriguing mysteries of ancient history. For generations, they have passed down impressive knowledge about the Sirius star system, particularly Sirius B, a star invisible to the naked eye and only discovered by modern science in 1862. The question is, how could an isolated tribe, without any astronomical instruments, have access to such detailed knowledge? Some believe the Dogon had contact with extraterrestrial beings who shared this wisdom. The Dogon's astronomical knowledge wouldn't be the result of primitive observation, but rather of an encounter with intelligences from another world. The Dogon's accounts of Sirius go beyond just the existence of Sirius B. They describe Sirius as a binary star system and even mention a third star, Sirius C, which science has only recently confirmed. Moreover, They claim their ancestors were taught about these stars by beings called the Nammos, who, according to their beliefs, came from the sky in vehicles that descended to Earth. The description of the Nammos as beings that live in water but descend from the stars has led many to speculate whether they were actually extraterrestrials. The level of detail in this narrative suggests a direct connection between the Dogon and these space visitors. The Nammos are often described as amphibious beings, part fish, part human, who brought deep knowledge to the Dogon, not only about astronomy, but about the creation of the universe itself. These beings are said to have traveled to Earth in vessels that shone like stars, which in modern terms could be interpreted as spacecraft. To the Dogon, these visitors were gods, and the information they brought was preserved as sacred knowledge. The accuracy with which they described the Sirius star system, long before the invention of the telescope, raises the question: how could they know something so advanced without external contact? Were the Nammos the first extraterrestrials to directly interact with humanity? This astronomical knowledge, which defies common understanding, is not unique to the Dogon tribe. Many ancient peoples, such as the Mayans and Sumerians, also possessed sophisticated knowledge of the cosmos, seemingly far beyond what would be expected for their time. This coincidence among distant cultures suggests that these civilizations may have shared a common point of extraterrestrial contact, which taught them about the stars and the creation of the universe. It's possible that the Dogon were one of these cultures, granted a special connection with beings from other worlds whose visits shaped how they understood the cosmos. As we continue to investigate the wisdom of the Dogon, new theories arise about how ancient peoples could have gained access to such advanced knowledge. Are we underestimating the capabilities of ancient civilizations? Or was there indeed an external intervention in our history? What else could these ancient cultures have learned from these celestial visitors? While pondering this, another enigma presents itself: the Antikythera mechanism, an advanced piece of technology for its time, which some believe may have been inspired by influences from beyond the Earth. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in 1901 at the bottom of the sea near the Greek island of Antikythera, has puzzled historians and scientists since its discovery. This device, dating back to around 100 BC, is often referred to as the first analog computer, a true masterpiece of ancient engineering. It was capable of predicting planetary movements, eclipses, and even the cycles of the Olympic Games with impressive precision. But how did such an advanced technology, seemingly out of place for that era, come to be? Some theorists suggest that the Antikythera mechanism may have been influenced by extraterrestrials who shared their knowledge with the ancient Greeks. This theory, while speculative, arises from the complexity and precision of the device, which seems far ahead of its time. The mechanism contains intricate gears and components that resemble modern clockwork, something not typically associated with ancient technology. Could it be that the Greeks, known for their advancements in science and philosophy, received a boost in knowledge from an extraterrestrial source? Perhaps the Antikythera mechanism is a relic of such a collaboration, evidence of a moment when human and alien knowledge converged. The Antikythera mechanism, like other ancient wonders, continues to challenge our understanding of history. Whether or not extraterrestrial involvement played a role, these mysteries push us to reconsider what we know about the past and to remain open to the possibility that our ancestors may have had encounters beyond this world. The more we explore these ancient enigmas, the more questions we uncover. Questions that may one day lead us to a greater understanding of both our history and our place in the universe. The complexity of the Antikythera mechanism continues to astound even modern engineers. Its intricate, miniature gears, resembling those of a mechanical clock, demonstrate a level of precision that challenges our understanding of the technological capabilities of the ancient world. While we know the Greeks were incredibly intelligent, did they really possess the knowledge needed to create something so ahead of its time? Some argue that this device is a clear example of technology that shouldn't have existed at that period, leading to the hypothesis that it might be an alien artifact, or at least inspired by extraterrestrial intelligence. If the Antikythera mechanism did have an external origin, it raises the possibility that ancient Greeks may have had direct or indirect contact with visitors from another world. Some theorists suggest that advanced civilizations, like Atlantis, which we discussed earlier, could have left behind fragments of their technology before vanishing. Perhaps the Antikythera mechanism is one such fragment. This would explain how such a sophisticated device seemed to appear out of nowhere. The precision with which it replicated the movement of celestial bodies is something that wasn't achieved again until the invention of modern astronomical tools centuries later. Another intriguing aspect is the astronomical knowledge revealed by the Antikythera mechanism. Just as the Dogon tribe knew of Sirius B without telescopes, the ancient Greeks had an understanding of the cosmos that seems extraordinary for their time. Could these advancements have been linked to knowledge shared by visitors from another planet? The creation of a device capable of predicting astronomical events with such precision defies historical logic. Many scholars argue that without external inspiration, the Antikythera mechanism simply wouldn't have been possible. While there is no conclusive proof that the Antikythera mechanism was influenced by extraterrestrials, it continues to inspire fascination and debate. History is filled with examples of technologies that seem out of place, and each new discovery forces us to reconsider the capabilities of ancient civilizations. But what if these capabilities were, in fact, reflections of influence from other worlds? This question leads us to another mystery: how pre-Columbian civilizations, such as the Maya and Aztecs, spoke of flying gods who descended from the heavens in shining chariots. Could these cultures also have been influenced by visitors from space? The ancient pre-Columbian civilizations, like the Maya and Aztecs, left behind an impressive cultural and architectural legacy, but their legends of flying gods continue to intrigue scholars and enthusiasts of ancient mysteries. According to their mythologies, divine beings descended from the skies in flying chariots or feathered serpents, bringing with them wisdom and power. These accounts raise the possibility that these gods were actually extraterrestrial visitors. Could these flying chariots be references to spacecraft? And if these civilizations were in contact with beings from other worlds, how might that have shaped their cultural and technological evolution? The Maya, for example, believed in the god Kukulkan, the feathered serpent, who was described as a being who descended from the skies to teach civilization. Similarly, the Aztecs revered Quetzalcoatl, a god with similar traits. Ancient images and accounts of these beings often depict glowing objects in the sky or figures bathed in light. Some conspiracy theorists suggest that these gods could have been ancient astronauts, and their appearances, described in texts and carvings, might represent encounters with extraterrestrials. If we entertain this possibility, the vast knowledge of the Maya and Aztecs could be the result of an exchange of knowledge with these visitors. Another fascinating factor is the monumental architecture of these civilizations. The Mayan and Aztec pyramids, like those at Chichen Itza and Teotihuacan, not only possess stunning beauty, but also reveal an advanced understanding of astronomy and engineering. Much like the Pyramids of Giza, these structures are aligned precisely with celestial cycles, and their construction, using massive stone blocks, raises questions about how they were built with the available technology of the time. Could it be that the help of the flying gods provided the knowledge necessary to create these wonders? The idea that these gods were not divine, but rather beings from another planet casts these structures in a new light. Beyond the physical structures, the astronomical knowledge of these civilizations remains impressive to this day. The Maya, for instance, developed an extremely accurate calendar based on planetary cycles and celestial events, something that continues to intrigue modern astronomers. How could a civilization without telescopes or advanced technology achieve such precision? Again, the hypothesis arises that this knowledge may have come from an external source. Perhaps the flying gods who visited the Maya and Aztecs brought with them celestial maps and advanced observational technologies, providing the foundation for the astronomical discoveries of these civilizations. Ultimately, these stories, structures, and knowledge push us to question the limits of what ancient cultures could have achieved on their own. Whether the Antikythera mechanism, the Maya pyramids, or the legends of flying gods were influenced by extraterrestrials remains a mystery. Yet, these unexplained phenomena continue to invite speculation about the possibility of ancient human contact with otherworldly beings and what that might mean for our understanding of history. Although many of these theories are speculative, they open doors to deep reflection about the impact of possible extraterrestrial visits on human evolution. If these flying gods truly influenced the Maya and Aztec cultures, what else might they have left behind? What other secrets are hidden in their legends and constructions? And if this influence extended to other parts of the world, such as the mysterious Easter Island, where the imposing Moai statues still stand as sentinels of an unknown past, could their origins also reach far beyond Earth? Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, holds one of the world's greatest archaeological mysteries. The Moai, massive stone statues that dominate the island's landscape. These monumental figures, with their enigmatic faces and bodies, many of which are partially buried, have long prompted questions about their purpose and construction. How did an isolated people with limited resources manage to carve and transport such colossal statues, some weighing more than 80 tons? The theory that the inhabitants of Rapa Nui may have been influenced by extraterrestrial visitors arises as a possible explanation for this monumental achievement. The Moai seem to be strategically positioned, many facing the sky or the horizon, which raises the suspicion that they might be more than just cultural symbols. Some suggest that these statues were a form of signaling or communication with extraterrestrial beings, as if marking the island for visitors arriving from beyond. Another intriguing theory proposes that the Moai could have been constructed with alien assistance, as the transportation and construction of these statues defy logic given the rudimentary means available to the island's natives. The oral history of the Rapa Nui people mentions that the Moai represented powerful ancestors who protected the island and its inhabitants. But beyond this spiritual explanation, some theorists believe that the ancient inhabitants may have had more direct contact with visitors from another world. Researchers have noted similarities between the Moai and humanoid figures found in other ancient cultures, suggesting that an extraterrestrial civilization may have traveled to different parts of the world, influencing each in its own way. Could the Moai be physical remnants of such interactions with aliens? Another intriguing point is that the statues were carved from volcanic tuff, a material that, while malleable, would make the task of construction and transportation even more difficult, especially without metal tools. How did the ancient inhabitants move the Moai across kilometers of rugged terrain? Some theories suggest that, as with the pyramids and the Nazca Lines, levitation technology or some other form of extraterrestrial assistance was employed. If the Moai were indeed erected with outside help, this could dramatically reshape how we understand the capabilities of ancient peoples. The Moai of Easter Island, with their unresolved mysteries, continue to inspire questions about the limits of human knowledge and the potential influence of extraterrestrial forces. Like other great ancient wonders, they remind us that there is still much to discover about the past. And as we connect these clues left by ancient civilizations around the world, a broader question begins to emerge. UFOs and lost civilizations. Have they been here before, shaping human history in ways we have yet to fully comprehend? Now that you've delved into the mysteries of ancient civilizations and their possible connections to beings from other worlds, it's hard not to be fascinated by all these theories. But more than that, you must ask yourself, how does this change the way we view our past? If extraterrestrial visitors truly shaped the course of humanity, are we ready to fully understand those influences? And more importantly, what can we do with this knowledge now? Perhaps the answer lies in continuing to explore, question, and keep an open mind about what remains hidden. What we've learned throughout this journey is that many of history's mysteries are far from being fully unraveled. There's much more to be discovered, and each of us can be part of that search. What do you think? Could the monuments that continue to puzzle archaeologists be just the beginning of something much larger? Perhaps, by better understanding our past, we can even prepare for future encounters with those who, or what, have already been among us. So, what will you do with all this knowledge now? Are you ready to continue this journey of curiosity and discovery? Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any content. After all, the mysteries of the past are just waiting for those brave enough to question what really happened. Let's keep exploring the unknown together.